Hello, everybody. This is Marcus Smith PlushTube, or MSPT for short, and welcome to another channel update for 2026. Just like the previous ones, this is going to be another major update for the channel, and more or less an explanation on why I've been very quiet for a while. Since I've talked about this briefly in one of the community posts I made. Now, I want to give out an entire video about various updates and what the changes and additions are going to be included for the channel. I'm sorry if there's going to be some stuttering in this video. I'll try my best to edit some of it out, but I do want to keep it as raw as I can. And I just want to let you guys know that I thank each and every one of you for 600, 700, and 800 subscribers. Praise God. I know the channel hit those milestones around the time when Redeemed in Him came out, but still, thank you everyone for the love and support. I never expected this channel to reach to a level this fast. This wouldn't have happened without your support, and especially the Lord's help with this short film. It was truly a blessing to see the amount of people being touched by the film when it came out, that is. It genuinely put a smile on my face, and I cannot thank both you and him enough for making this happen. But yeah, now let's proceed with the channel update. Where have I been? I'm sure most of you guys probably noticed my absence regarding my content, and yes, I've always known what I was doing when it came to that. But let me explain. Now, I'm sure you all remember those testimony videos that I did a little while ago. That basically became where things drastically changed for the channel as a whole. I mean, it actually explains why I'm here, has a little nostalgic feeling toward it. After those videos were finished, I started developing ideas for a VR chat short film, and mainly wanted to keep it a surprise, primarily because it's a non-plus short film. And on top of that, there were many other projects I wanted to get out first, particularly MSPT The Movie 2, Part 1 of 6. And don't worry, the movie is not going to be cancelled. But all throughout the end of 2024 and 2025, that was when my life started to shift into a direction I did not expect to go. There have been many ups and downs in my personal life ever since I put out those testimony videos. And sure enough, it was definitely a learning and growth experience in the spiritual side of things. In case you all were wondering, I've been spending a lot, and I mean a lot, of my personal time on VR chat. Haven't even gotten the time or chances to hang out or work with other friends or work partners in certain projects. And it's not because I'm avoiding them, nor that I don't want to. But it's just that I needed more time to grow in the Lord, to love more, to care more, to give more, and to be aware and acknowledge where I am and what I'm doing that's wrong. And what I mean by this is, well, you guys might not agree with me on this, but it's the pride within myself and various projects. I mean, don't get it twisted. I greatly appreciate the kind and heartfelt moments and comments and feedback and all regarding these short films that I've made, and especially, feature films. But I was mostly just referring to me looking at my past projects, and I could just see and even hear the pride and ego in my voice. It's not with every project, but it's most of them. Again, don't get this wrong. I did and still do enjoy making films, but it's just, I think the Lord over the years was teaching me not to let my ego take the best of me, because eventually it all ended up crashing down. And I learned that the hard way, both before and especially after Redeeming Him came out. But I'll talk more about the production side of that a little later. And that probably made me think of other short films I plan to make, like the origins of Eevee and Vulpix, the rest of the other parts of MSBT the Movie 2, etc. Now, again, this does not mean that they are going to be shelved, but it's because the Lord wants me to not overwork myself and release some important projects, one at a time. Which means that there is now a high possibility of me releasing short films, plush films, and VR chat films at a reasonably slow pace. And yeah, if you guys have been following the channel for a few years, it's not really a surprise, but it's only for those who are new and those who didn't know initially. Now, I know what you're probably thinking. Where will I be throughout the year of 2026? Well, to make things blunt, but I'm going to be doing some things in real life and to spend some time in fellowship in VR chat, because that's mostly where you'll get the chance to see me or meet me. And no, I don't consider VR chat as my life or second life. I just enjoy helping one another, uplifting people in their struggles, and to be there for someone who needs comfort and peace through Him. And to enjoy making films as well. Speaking of making films, some of you guys are probably wondering what I've been working on. Well, again, to be blunt, I've been working on various projects. And to show you guys some of them in a way that's a little different but somewhat the same as last time, I'll sum it up in a list for the sake of time. Alright, here you go. Listen to your grandma.
That's rude of you, son.
No.
and to talk more about the overall production of Redeeming Him. To say this outright, that film was by far the hardest film I've ever had to make. Just because, in the description of the film, it took a whole 10 months to fully finalize. It was originally supposed to be released a month before MSPT The Movie 2 Part 1 of 6, during Holy Week of 2025, but unfortunately, there was miscommunication and just a lot of personal things that got in the way in finishing the film. So, it was delayed indefinitely. It was during the middle of 2025 when I noticed the amount of biblical media revolving around Jesus, David, and many others was making a big impact that year, and I felt that it was also important to get that film out because, not to toot my own horn or anything, but I think making a film touching on the topic of faith, confusion, despair, forgiveness, hope, love, and repentance in a game like VR Chat, or in a game in general, would too make an impact as well. And as far as I've seen, since this was never done before, I think it was very much necessary to make the film to reach those struggling in any sort of way. And again, it was not an easy task. Since this was my first time being a film director on VR Chat, unlike asking someone to record their lines a certain way, I had to actually be there on set with actors directing them on where to be, what to say, and how to say it. While this was a learning experience for me as a filmmaker, the amount of joy I had with the cast and crew was just astounding. As you can probably tell, there is a 20-minute long blooper reel, and that wasn't even all of them. There are still more bloopers in the behind the scenes of this film, and I decided not to include because it was already a long blooper reel. So I thought picking out the best ones was fine enough. But going back to the filming, there was a scene in the movie that I was not going to include, and I'm sure you guys can guess what scene that is. Yep, it's the hell scene. I'll give you a brief story on that. So, when I was almost done finalizing the shots and the scenes, I felt the need to pray to the Lord and ask Him if I should add any additional scenes. And what He said to me shook me, because all He said was, hell. And I was like, why? And then He went on saying, even those who believe in my name will not make it to heaven. And then shortly after, I understood what He meant by that. To sum it up a bit, there are Christians out there who believe that Christ existed, died on the cross, and rose from the dead, but don't actually choose to live a life for Him every day, every time they wake up in the morning, and instead rely on their own understandings and not God's, living a life of sin, or a lukewarm, if you will. Not saying that all Christians do this. No. All I'm saying is that most of them don't take their faith seriously, and that was what the Lord was telling me during that moment in time. So, yeah. That scene when Kilo is in hell, meets his other self, which turned out to be the devil, that was not my idea. That was God's idea. And I think it helped tremendously, so all praise goes to Him.
Hey, it's okay, buddy. It's okay. Don't worry.
One thing I became worried about regarding the film is if it would be released within 2025, and He told me it would be finished in September. And I was like, okay, cool. Same month as Light of the World. That'd be a treat. I'll get it done before the month hits. Then September hit, and the film was not finished. Particularly the church scene when Kilo gets angry. Those were the only scenes left, and some extras who were planned to be on set didn't make it on time, so we had to have some replacements. We only had 2 to 3 days to finish the scene due to everyone's availability, and we were approaching the end of September. I remember crying out to the Lord on my bathroom floor, just begging and asking him if all of this was possible. And long story short, within those 3 days, the film was finished. The Lord once again provided. The film was uploaded as an unlisted video on September 30th, and when it premiered on October 10th, the impact that that film made just blew my mind. There were many people that watched that film were either genuinely awestruck or just in outright tears, and it left a positive impact on the film. And as a non-plush film, that was certainly unexpected. So once again, thank you so much for watching Redeemed in Him. It may not be a perfect film, and it may be the hardest film I've ever had to make, but it's definitely my personal favorite film I've made so far. My magnum opus, if you would. And I hope and pray that more VR Chat films would explore that side of Christianity. And I hope that this film, Redeemed in Him, won't be the last. Yeah, you're
Wait, what? How? No way. How?
You're
Wait,
making
what?
you're making a fist.
No. All right, whatever. All right, you guys, you silly, silly geese. All right.
And the last thing I want to say to you guys, that this channel is going to have a slight rebrand, presenting you with a newly made logo and banner, both made by Las Larias. Now the name of this channel is still going to remain as always, Marcus Smith PlushTube, but this time around, MSPT Films Productions is going to be a little bit more prominent in VR Chat. Yes, from this day onward, MSPT Films Productions will be its own little film studio on VR Chat, which means that you guys will get the chance to watch me and a few other crew members on set filming, or perhaps be a part of the production. Now, does this mean the film studio is branching off of the main channel? Not so much. It's still going to be associated with the main channel, meaning that original films made in VR Chat will still be posted in Marcus Smith PlushTube. But what does that mean for plush videos? Well, to get this out of the way again, no, I refuse to cancel the MSPT movie sequel. It's still in production, as you guys can tell, but it's in a bit of a backseat due to other projects I want to finish. And don't worry, there are still some plush videos that are being planned. Currently scouting some locations for the Origins of Eevee and Vulpix, and possibly using some VR Chat worlds for scenes in the MSPT movie sequel and such. But yeah, plush videos are still going to be active, and they won't be cancelled. I will let you guys know when they will be released at a later date. As for now, I hope you guys look forward to seeing them, and I hope to see you on set, Lord willing. Well guys, this concludes the 2026 channel update. Once again, I am so thankful for all of your support throughout the years, especially this past year. I'll still make some short plush videos and some short VR Chat videos here and there that aren't just short films. Oh yeah, and that's another thing too. If you guys are ever curious, I will be releasing a playlist of me doing sermons on VRChat. If you guys ever want to learn more about the Bible and such, feel free to check it out. All those videos will be unlisted, but the playlist itself will be released to the public by the time this video comes out. But also, continue to keep a lookout for other projects, both VR and in plush form, and even other ones that I'm a part of that's not on my channel. But other than that, I hope you all are looking forward to seeing the new stuff that'll come out. And once again, thank you so much for all your love and support. And I hope and pray that the Lord will bless you as your day goes by. God bless everyone, and take care.